Hey everybody, this is Tim with Op-Ed Daily. Scientists from Ohio State University have grown a human brain in a lab. Now this brain has a spinal cord, it has signaling circuitry, and it also has a retina. But it's about the size of a pencil eraser, and it isn't conscious. It doesn't have any outside stimuli going into it, so they say that it isn't thinking. It also is going to require at some point a system of blood vessels. So they're talking about creating for this man-made brain a man-made heart in order to pump blood to all the cells, I guess, to keep it alive in that way. And they're wanting to use it to do research on diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, since the regions that those diseases affect are functional during the early stages of development. Now, previous attempts at creating the whole brains always resulted in like mini organs that resembled organs of 9-week-old fetuses. And the cerebral organoids were incomplete and only contained certain aspects of the brain. But Reen Anand from OSU says that they've grown the entire brain from the get-go. And this is a quote, "If we let it go to 16 or 20 weeks, that might complete it, filling in that 1% of missing genes. We don't know yet." That's from Reen Anand. Yeah, according to them, they've been able to produce 99% of the brain's diverse cell types and genes, which is pretty crazy because that's basically a full brain. And you don't need all of your brain in order to be able to function as an adult in some cases. I mean, look at George W. Bush. We know he doesn't have all of his brain, and look where he went. Anyway, I think this is quite interesting. I know a lot of people are going to have some ethical problems with this, probably going to have a lot of religious folk, throwing a fit about it. But if you think about it, this is almost proof that there may just be no God. If we are able to create life without there being a soul, if we can create a brain and organs and have them function together and work as a organ system, then where does God come into play? And in fact, if they are able to eventually get this brain to think and use it as if it were a computer and perhaps program it, or even have an artificial person with just a brain, the ability to output information and the ability to take in information. If we can create that, then maybe that's almost proof that there is no God, because then you wouldn't be required to have a soul. I'm not going to get into the whole religious thing anyway. I just wanted to bring that up because a lot of people are going to have problems with this. And it is kind of a toss-up, because if you did create a being that was aware and could, manipulate his environment, if it was, for all intents and purposes, a real person, then it would be a real person with rights. And to have it, stuck in a jar somewhere would just seem kind of cruel. And to kill it would essentially be murder. So we're not there yet, probably won't be there for quite some time, but I think this is very interesting. I think this will have wonderful effects towards how we look at the things in our environment and how it changes us. Because if they can grow it from scratch to the end, they can prove the vaccines, whether or not they cause autism. Because if they can grow a whole bunch of brains and then shove these vaccines into those brains and see what happens, if they turn autistic, then there you go. And also, give it these chemicals that we are exposed to on a daily basis and see what happens versus the ones that don't get these unnecessary chemicals. So there's a lot of good that can come out of this. Unfortunately, there's also a lot of bad things that can come out of this. But when it comes to, technological advancements, especially in medicine, I'm usually all for it. I don't really see much of a problem here yet. But unfortunately, there will be those people that will use it to the detriment of both the sciences and to humankind and perhaps humanity. Anyway, that's it for now. This is Tim with Op-Ed Daily. Peace.